Imagine you're settling in for the night's big movie marathon, popcorn in one hand, remote in the other, and you realize your couch just won't cut it. You've been eyeing that sleek, leather recliner that promises zero-gravity comfort, heat, and massage, but you're still on the fence because you don't want to drop a few $100s on something that ends up feeling like a glorified footstool. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through exactly what it's like to bring the Seatcraft Virtuoso LT into a real living room, what kind of people actually get the most out of it, and where the price really starts to make sense or not. First off, the thing that most people stumble over when they are looking at any powered recliner is the whole installation dance. The Virtuoso LT arrives in a fairly compact box for a piece that's almost the size of a small sofa, but you still need at least 2 people to get the base onto the floor without scratching the Italian grain leather. The instructions are fairly visual, and the wall hugger design does a surprising amount of work here. Because the chair is engineered to sit closer to the wall, the footprint is trimmed by about 30% compared to a traditional recliner. In a typical 3-person living room, that can be the difference between having enough room for a coffee table and feeling like you're navigating a maze. If you've got a dedicated media wall, the chair slides right up against it, and the built-in smart console complete with heat and massage controls tucks neatly under the armrest, keeping cords out of sight. Now, the zero-gravity claim isn't just a marketing buzzword. With a single press of a button, the chair tilts back to a near-horizontal position while the footrest extends, distributing your weight across a larger surface area. For anyone who's ever felt that pinch in the lower back after a few episodes of a binge-watch session, that angle can feel like a quick reset. I tried it while watching a 2-hour thriller, and the moment the chair eased back, the pressure on my spine seemed to melt away. The powered headrest followed the same motion, raising just enough to support the neck without forcing you to crane your head forward. That kind of synchronized movement is something you rarely find on a budget recliner, and it's the kind of nuance that separates a nice seat from a home theater throne. Heat and massage are where the Virtuoso LT tries to justify its price tag beyond just looking good. The console lets you toggle between a gentle warmth and a series of vibrating nodes that run along the lower back and thighs. The heat element warms up in about a minute, which is handy if you're coming in from a cold day. The massage pattern is programmable in 3 zones, and you can adjust intensity with a dial that feels more like a car's climate control than a cheap plastic button. In practice, the massage is definitely more of a relaxing perk than a therapeutic treatment. It won't replace a professional session, but it does take the edge off after a long day at a desk or a gaming marathon. One thing to note is that the chair needs to stay plugged into the wall for these features, so you can't just roll it around the room and keep the massage going. You're essentially committing to a semi-permanent spot near an outlet. Coagul-infused Italian leather is the next headline feature that gets a lot of attention. The leather itself has a buttery feel, and the cool gel layer underneath does a decent job of preventing that sticky sensation you sometimes get after sitting in a leather chair for a while. In a warm summer evening, I noticed the surface staying pleasantly neutral, neither hot nor cold after an hour of use. That said, the leather is still leather, so it will show fingerprints and pet hair more readily than a fabric recliner. If you have a cat that loves to perch, you might want to keep a soft blanket handy, or be prepared to wipe it down regularly. The leather also tends to be on the softer side, which contributes to that sink-in feeling, but for people who need firmer lumbar support for extended work sessions, you might find yourself reaching for a small lumbar pillow. Speaking of work sessions, the Virtuoso LT markets itself as a hybrid between a gaming chair and a home office seat. The powered headrest and footrest can be set to a more upright position, turning the recliner into a sort of high-back lounge chair. If you're someone who spends a few hours on a laptop while watching a screen, the built-in cup holder and the integrated USB port, hidden behind the console, can be a nice touch. No need to scramble for a wall socket. However, the seat is a single-person unit, so it's not a replacement for a multi-user office setup. Also, the chair's depth can make it a bit tricky to get in and out of if you have limited mobility, or if you're used to standard office chairs that swivel.